Now, clothing can be expensive depending on where you go to purchase them. Like I said before, I have no problem buying clothes at Walmart. No problem whatsoever. Or Target. But before we get any further in the video, be sure to subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and like the video so that you don't make me cry. Anyhow, when you start to talk about ABDL clothes, you're starting to talk about a lot pricier clothing. But Business 101, supply and demand. I think we all get that. Now, I've scoured the web looking for different types of little clothes and whatnot, and I have to tell you, I'm not a fan of a lot of the little clothes that are out there. Not that they're bad quality, it's just they just haven't wowed me. Yes, some are really, really cute, but they're just not doing it for me. Let's take pajamas, for example. I like the two-piece pajamas. I've never, even when I was a child, I never really cared for the onesie, footy, pajama thingies. Never really cared for those. I like the two-piece that has the bright colored, that's usually brighter colored than the pajamas as a whole. Elastic things that wrap around your wrist and your ankles. Those are the type of pajamas I like. Yeah, finding those, those are really, really hard to find. I did, however, find a pair of really cute pajamas. I didn't particularly care for the $110 price they were asking for them, but they were really cute. I mean, they must have been out the damn mind if they think I was going to pay $110 for that damn pair of pajamas. I mean, what is it? 20 bucks for fabric, $30 for the labor, little markup. About $75 seems realistic. So I decided I was going to screw the man, and I was going to make my own little clothes. And I was going to start off with pajamas. Then I thought, well, maybe pajamas might be just a little bit too much. So why don't we start off with a pair of lounge pants? I mean, really, they're lounge pants. It's just two pieces of fabric. How difficult can it be, really? So for Christmas, my roommate bought me a sewing machine. So I waited for the new year to come along, and I said, okay, now it's time to make my lounge pants. So I headed out to Joann's Fabrics. Well, let's just say that was an intimidating experience within itself. I walk into the store, I look over at the fabric section, and panic took over. And let me just say, if you've never been in Joann's Fabrics, just wow. Just wow. Be prepared. It's intimidating as hell when you look at it. So I left the store for the day, and I needed to, come to terms with my panic attack, and decided to go back the next day and face my fear. So the next day I made it in, I made it to the fabric section and started my hunt for some cute fabric to use for lounge pants, possibly at some point some pajamas. So after about 45 minutes of looking, and trust me, I probably could have looked for 3 or 4 hours, but after about 45 minutes of looking, I finally found some fabric that I thought would look cute for a pair of lounge pants or pajamas. So I went up to the fabric counter so that they could cut, the amount of fabric that I needed. And obviously I looked kind of frazzled because when I got to the lady at the counter, she says, "Is this your first time getting a fabric?" Apparently I must have a really bad poker face. So I told her yes, it was my first time buying fabric there, and she asked me what I was making, and it didn't seem to faze her very much when I told her I was gonna try to make pajamas for myself like the ones I had when I was a kid. Didn't seem to faze her that much at all. So she looked at my size and whatnot, and then she cut the fabric based off what she felt that I would need for pajamas. So I paid for the fabric, and off I went home to start my journey into making my own ABDL clothes. So the next day I get up and I have my coffee, I have my breakfast, take my shower, and I say, okay, Mark, it's time to get to work, boy. And like I said, I decided to make some lounge pants first because I figured that would be easier and it'd be something for me to get kind of used to the sewing machine and whatnot. Plus, making lounge pants that look kind of cut and dry. Well, as we all do when we're learning something, the first thing I did was grab my tablet and start watching a YouTube video. Well, the girl I was watching was very informative. Apparently, it's me who has the the learning handicap. So she said put a pair of lounge pants on the fabric and trace around it, leaving a 2-inch. I can't remember what the 2 inches was for, but you were supposed to leave 2 inches for something or another. Afterwards, I started to cut the fabric the way that she told me. At least I thought I was cutting it the way that she told me. Well, after I get done cutting the fabric and so forth, it's time to hit the old sewing machine and get started sewing them together. I was feeling happy, yet excited. Here I was, being creative, creating my own clothing, my own lounge pants, soon pajamas and other clothes, and I was very excited. Well, it didn't take long for the happiness to die, and I'll admit I wasn't too surprised when I tried on what I thought was the finished project. Well, it would appear I needed to gain about 300 pounds onto my ass, as well as shrink my legs up to about the size of a soda bottle. Not to mention they were about the size of capris, so therefore they came halfway up my calf. So I decided to turn those lounge pants into cleaning rags, and off to Joann's Fabric I went again to get more fabric. So I get more fabric, I get home. The next day, I started up again for the second attempt to make some lounge pants. This time I paid extra attention to the video. At least I thought I was paying extra attention to the video. So the second pair was done. I go to try them on. Well, one side I couldn't get my foot through. The other side I could probably have gotten the T-Rex foot through with some space to spare. So Mark got another cleaning rag, and off to Joann's Fabric I went again for attempt number 3. So I show up to Joann's Fabric and I get my fabric and bring it up to the counter, and of course all 3 times it's the same lady. I probably looked like I was stupid or something, and by this time the lady kind of felt sorry for me, so she asked me if I had thought about getting a pattern. A pattern? What the hell's a pattern? So she takes me over to the patterns and gives me a short little crash course on what patterns are and how to use them and whatnot. So now I'm heading home. I have fabric and I have a pattern. This time I was ready for my big W. So when I get home, I take some deep breaths, some meditative breaths, and I get started. I was being very, very careful this time, taking it slow and easy. I was not gonna mess up this time. I mean, I had all the tools for success. Once I got to the sewing machine, I said, okay, Mark, slow and steady. And as I was sewing, I was saying, oh, Mark, look, it's all coming together. You're making a pair of lounge pants. And it looked like they were gonna work this time. I got them done. I tried them on, and they fit perfectly. And as we all do when we're impressed with something, we go to the mirror to see what it looks like on us. Well, when I got to the mirror, I looked at the front. I'm like, oh, nice. Really nice. Well, my happiness was destroyed when I turned around and realized that I had forgotten to flip the fabric over. So therefore, on the front, I had the nice, cute pattern on the front. On the back, it was the back of the fabric. The front was cute. The back looked like shit. So after doing the math on how much I paid for the fabric 3 times, the gas to and from Joann's Fabric 3 times, the time I used for the 3 attempts, it would have been cheaper had I just paid the $110 damn for it and had done with it. So yes, little clothes in the ABDL community can be quite pricey and expensive. But if you don't have the sewing bug skills, I suggest you just suck it up and pay the damn money for the clothes. So like, subscribe, comment if you must, and until the next video, be blessed.